a world hungry for progress, education stands as one of the Baha'is' most treasured gifts. A contribution towards the development and well-being of society. Through the Training Institute, individuals and communities discover their own potential, learning to see themselves as protagonists in a process of spiritual and social transformation. As this educational process expands, it brings people of all ages and backgrounds together, uniting spiritual and material dimensions of life.
We had a big tree planting exercise that was being held at Mabusi, which is the headquarters of Nzoia location in our sub-county of Likuyani. During that tree planting exercise, we had a team from Radio Ustawi that had come to be part of the program. And we did our tree planting, and then we had a challenge. Since it was not raining, how were we going to have the seedlings watered? Even as we were wondering among ourselves, the team from Radio Ustawi offered to water the tree seedlings for a week. From then, as a member of the environmental committee for the location, we decided to find out more about this Radio Ustawi team. We had heard about them, but we had never interacted with them. Moving forward, we decided to visit them at the temple. They received us, they gave us a warm reception, and we were able to understand more who they were. From then, we have worked together in the issues of environment. We were able to come together and do some tree planting at the temple site. But what we discovered very interesting is that they had a training program called Preparation for Social Action. And when they explained the training program to us, we found out that this training program is what we needed. For two reasons. One, we had been conducting tree planting and environmental activities for a long time, but the results were not effective. But when they shared with us the information on environment and ecosystem, we discovered that we were doing everything wrong. So we decided to reset ourselves and organize ourselves into a team that led us to start the training on preparation of social action. The benefits that we have gotten from this training program is that we have expanded our horizon. We have now looked at the opportunities that can help in community well-being, in food security, in water harvesting, even getting the correct kind of methods and techniques that will help us even in production of food and even in protection of our environment, in even having a safer environment where we were being, we had a problem of malaria, but now we even know we have better information. We are even able to live even a healthier life because of the PSA program. Unfortunately, is that some of the things that we had wanted to do, we have stopped them, but for one good reason. For us, first of all, to get the basic training that will help us not to make many mistakes that my father made, our grandparents made. Those mistakes, we don't want to make them, because now the learning site, the temple, has decided, is helping us get the correct information, the correct training.
Hapo awali tulikuwa na mradi wa kutengeneza viazi vitamu, kuvigeuza vikawe ni ugali, lakini tukashindwa, tukaanguka kwa sababu ya hatukuwa na elimu ya kutosha. Lakini tulipojiunga na hii community tumejifunza mengi, na sasa tunaenda kufufua huo mradi. Tunaona tukienda mbali sana na tukiwasaidia wengi kwa hii community kutumia hizo viazi vitamu. Hawatakuwa wanaenda waste, hawatakuwa wanatupa viazi vyao, bali watakuwa wanazibadilisha inakuwa unga na wanaitumia.
Mafunzo pia sasa imetusaidia ni kutuleta pamoja. Bana kuleta pamoja imefanya pia sina kama vijana tumekuja na mradi yanaweza saidia wakulima ili kutunza mazingira na kutunza shamba zao ili kutoka kwa kutumia chemicals kwa ukulima rudi watumie manure.
As young people engage deeply with the teachings of the faith, they begin to read their communities with new eyes, recognizing challenges and responding with constructive action. In rural areas, some are turning to the land, not just to cultivate crops, but to reimagine farming itself. New methods are emerging, transforming traditional farming and opening fresh pathways toward shared prosperity and sustainability.
To respond to this aspiration, many initiatives and community-based organizations have begun. For example, we have Stawisha Kilimo that is concerned with agriculture, but also we have Wezesha Kilimo that is also concerned with agriculture. Now we can see young people within this community are contemplating on how that can be achieved. And this is as a response, to reading social reality. What these young people are thinking, how they can diversify different crops that apart from maize, then we can have other crops that we can have so that we can boost our own immunity through different types of food. And then we can see now the young people around here, they are engaging, they are initiating this initiative that we are calling Wezesha Kilimo. And the purpose is actually to think or reflect around agriculture and empower a growing number of people to think how agriculture, when we think about agriculture as one of the principles also of the Baha'i faith, we can draw from the writings of the faith and apply in this field of agriculture. And I think with that one, then we want to learn. And through the capacity that has been developed through the institute courses, then we can see the friends, these people who are engaging in Wezesha Kilimo are advancing to another level.
Hiki kikundi chetu ilitokana na initiative ya participants waliamua kuaddress need moja yenye challenge moja yenye ina face community yetu ambayo ni food shortage ama food security. So tukadecide to pull resources zetu pamoja, tukaanzisha kikundi cha Wezesha Kilimo ambacho kitakuwa kinatusaidia kuaddress zile food shortages zenye ziko kwa community. One endeavor ya hiyo Wezesha Kilimo tukatokana na hii project ya kuanzisha hizi DHE plots ambao tutakuwa tunapanda vyakula aina tofauti tofauti kuhakikisha kwamba chakula hakiishi katika jamii yetu. Kuna chakula mwaka nenda mwaka rudi. Tumeanza kama kikundi cha watu wachache, lakini tunatarajia kwamba watu wengi zaidi watajumuika na sisi ili kufanikisha hii shughuli yetu.
Hapa awali nilikuwa nikiamua kila kitu boma hii peke yangu. Sasa mimi na mke wangu tunashauriana pamoja. Watoto wetu wanapoona hivyo nao wanasikiliza na kushiriki.
Before, I never used to do tracking of anything. But after study, I'm able now to document, calculate, and see how my yields have improved. The PSA learning has changed how we farm. But even more than that, it has changed how we live. We have had a total mental shift in the way we think, the way we work, and the way we relate in terms of agriculture. At the center of everything that the community is doing, from the impact of the training institute, is service and worship. We decided to look at what is it that we have as a community that can be an asset. And that's how we discovered that the 14 members of the study group had 1,083 avocados planted in their homes. And we looked at this as an entry in our environmental program. And that is how we started a tree nursery focusing on avocados, guavas, and other types of trees that we can easily grow and maintain in our community. We have been able to produce more than 3,000 seedlings of avocado, and most of these seedlings we were able to plant in schools and public places. We also gave our members, each member this year, all our members planted almost 2,000 avocados in their homesteads. The tree nursery that is focusing on avocados and other fruit trees is helping our young people be able to get some income.
As Baha'is, we believe that service to humanity is central to both the spiritual and material progress of society. And Baha'is all over the world are engaged in activities that are aimed towards the progress of our societies. These activities are a natural culmination to a sequence of courses and study that aim to build capacity within individuals in a community, not just their intellectual capacity, but their spiritual capacity as well. This in turn gives rise to collective action, which allows these individuals in the communities and neighborhoods and villages to respond to the health needs of their community. One such area of action is to strengthen the health in the communities and neighborhoods. This is part of a broader effort to understand what the health challenges are, not merely from a medical perspective, or to define health as merely the absence of disease, but really to understand the spiritual, social, and communal perspectives of health.
Every seed carries a story of those who came before and the hope of those yet to come. In Boyani village, a group of individuals from the PSA program have come together to protect this heritage, forming a community seed bank to preserve indigenous varieties once at risk of disappearing, ensuring that the seeds of the past continue to nourish the generations of tomorrow.
Boyani tunajaribu kuona kwamba tunarudisha namna gani hizi mbegu, na tayari kuanzia mwaka wa 2013 karibia miaka 10 kufikia sasa, tunaona tunajaribu kuzalisha mbegu na tunazalisha mboga, na pia hizi kwa upande wa mbegu, hizi mbegu tunaona tunazalisha na pia wanajamii wanazalisha. Kuna wale ambao wana shamba kubwa kidogo wanazalisha wakileta kwa community seed bank ambao tulianzisha, na pia kama jamii ama kama community seed bank pia tunakopesha wale ambao hawana pesa za kununua, ama wale ambao hawako tayari na tuseme pesa za kununua hizo mbegu. So tunawakopesha na wakipata pesa wanaleta.
Nilijiunga na hiki kikundi kwa vile nilikuwa na passion na interest, ili tufanye na wao pamoja, tujadiliane, na tulifika kiwango kwamba kuna mboga za kienyeji, na hizo mboga za kienyeji kwa market ziko na value sana.
Hili wazo la kuanzisha community seed bank kwa jamii yetu ya Boyani, malengo yako makuu kabisa pia ilikuwa kuona kwamba wanajamii hawaendi soko mara kwa mara ili kununua mboga za kutumia nyumbani. Tunaona hilo imesaidia wanajamii. Hizo pesa zenye walikuwa kwenda kwa soko kununua mboga kila mara, wanazitumia kwa shughuli zingine ambazo zinasaidia jamii kuendelea mbele.
Across our communities, a subtle yet powerful transformation is unfolding. Young people are emerging as catalysts for change. They are stepping forward, initiating cleanup efforts and safeguarding the environment. Beyond these actions, they are inspiring others, mentoring junior youth in service projects, promoting unity and a sense of accountability. These youth are not waiting for change to happen. They are embodying it.
We saw rubbish everywhere and said, why wait? We gathered our friends and cleaned the neighborhood.
What really motivates me to serve as an animator is that junior youth are eager to learn and engage in relevant activities. Personally, I was a junior youth and I learned a lot throughout the program.
When we study together, it opens our eyes. We ask, what does our community need? How can we help?
A few of us junior youth, just friends, started thinking more deeply after studying Wellspring of Joy. That book got us reflecting on our role in the community. How could we be of service? How could we grow, not just as individuals, but together?
There was a time in my life I was known as a troublemaker. Before joining the training institute, I was lost in destructive behaviors. My actions eventually led me into prison, even before completing my high school education. But everything changed when I joined the training institute. I encountered mentors who believed in me and a community that nurtured my growth. The institute became a turning point in my life, helping me discover a vision and a purpose. I discovered I can serve both my community and my faith in meaningful ways. Today, I stand as a transformed individual, guiding young minds on the path of education. Each day, I strive to be a positive influence. My past does not define me, but my actions today do.
In Central West Region, chiefs and village elders are stepping into a new chapter of leadership. One shaped by service and unity. The Universal House of Justice reminds us that the exercise of authority is not a matter of personal power, but of humble sacrifice and collective decision made in the light of consultation and justice. Guided by this understanding, they are becoming part of a movement, working shoulder to shoulder with their communities in the part of the 9-year plan. Here, authority is no longer a symbol of control, but a source of encouragement, helping people work together, build together, rise together towards a common vision of transformation.
It gives me great joy to stand before you today on this fair occasion. As residents of Nzoia location, we feel greatly honored that the first Baha'i house of worship in the whole of Africa has been built right here in our location.
Nyumba ya ibada imebadilisha maisha ya vijana wetu hapa sana. Tangu ianze tuna mabadiliko makubwa. Hasa tulikuwa na vijana ambao wanakunywa pombe kiholela, na vijana wesi ambao wanakula bangi, lakini kupitia kwa ibada tuna mabadiliko makubwa. Tuna watoto wetu wasichana pia ambao walikuwa wanapata mimba za mapema. Lakini kupitia kwa mafunzo ambayo tumepata ya Bahai, hiyo mambo ya kupata mimba mapema imeenda chini kabisa. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana ile uhusiano wetu na Bahai.
Maneno yenye nimefunzwa hapa, kama nitaelezea watu wangu wasikie, naona location yangu haitakuwa na shida. Shida mingi zinazokuwa kama wizi, uchambazi, ulevi haitakuwa, because kila mtu atajielewa, watu watapendana, wakiwa na jambo watakuwa nasemezana, because Mungu amesema kama kuna jambo njoo tusemezane. Nimekuja hapa kwa chumba la sala, nimefurahishwa na nimeingia hapo. Unapofika hapo kila mtu ananyenyekea, mtu anaongea na Mungu wake. Ukiingia tu hapo naona tu umeingia pale patakatifu. Unapoomba Mungu kitoka pia unaona uko sawa. Usiku naona watu wanaamka hata saa 7 mtu anaenda kuswali, saa 9 mtu anaenda kuswali. Nashauri tu watu wangu, always think of your God.
In every season, during holidays or weekends, young people come together. Some walk from nearby villages. Others travel from schools across the region. They gather with purpose to learn, reflect, and to serve. Under the shade of trees, in quiet rooms, and sometimes on the very steps of the house of worship. They explore career paths, seek advice from mentors, consult on how to support the well-being of their communities. Recently, the gatherings have grown. Dozens of youth from neighboring schools arrive, drawn by the conversations that matter. They visit the house of worship not just to pray, but to ask questions. How can I serve? What kind of life do I want to build? How do I become a force for good? These meetings are shaping something deeper. A new generation is emerging, grounded in values, open to learning, and ready to walk the path of service together.
I found the program centered on the youth and the careers to be most fascinating, most timely, and a badly needed program for our times, particularly in our country. To have high school students, college students together here exploring the question of careers is a very good plus. I saw that the program is students and learner centered. In our discussions, I saw that the Baha'i faith came across, whereby you are talking about career, but career not just for career's sake, but career for service to humanity. The way people serve humanity is through their professions and through their careers. So I found that part of the program very, very useful and timely. And to be able to connect people's faith and spiritual life, spirituality with the work and service is also the uniqueness of that program.
In many corners of the world, young people are engaging in conversations about true nature of progress, a vision that transcends material advancement and embraces the spiritual upliftment of humanity. Through the Institute for Studies in Global Prosperity, they are learning to think deeply, to act with purpose, and to align their efforts with the betterment of society. All must surge, but the youth must soar.
Baada ya kushiriki hii ICGP seminar kwa mfululizo huu wa miaka 4, imekuwa ya msaada mkubwa sana kwangu ya kuanza kubaini yale mambo ambayo yatakuwa ya msaada kwa jamii kwa ujumla, lakini pia kwangu mimi mwenyewe. Kwa tunaona material zinakuwa za msaada sana kutusaidia sisi kama Wabahai na kama wanafunzi wa vyuoni kuweza kutambua mambo gani ambayo yanaweza kusaidia jamii kuweza kuendelea. Na tunaona kwamba elimu pekee ya kimwili ni muhimu kwa wanadamu, lakini pekee haitoshi. Kwa hiyo pia tuweze kuhakikisha pia tunapata elimu ya kiroho ambayo inakuwa kama msaada mkubwa wa matumizi ya ile elimu ya kimwili ambayo tunakuwa tunapata. Kwa hiyo hii ICGP imekuwa platform nzuri sana kwa vijana wa Kibahai kuweza kushiriki moja kwa moja, kwa sababu imeweza kuinua ule wao mzuri ambao unaweza kuwasaidia wao kuendelea, sio wao peke yake, lakini pia jamii.
The ICGP actually has raised is this capacity to actually reflect and act according to the writings of the faith, but also what or the vision that the Baha'i world is actually looking forward to. But in this context also, an individual, both the three protagonists are able to reflect on what contribution they can each make. And as an individual, then it gives me a vision to align some of my goals that I have in life, to align them in that direction where they'll see the world of humanity to actually attain that station that has been described in the writings of Bahá'u'lláh.
Tunafunza watoto vile wanaweza kukua mambo ya kiroho na mambo ya kimwili. Hao watoto wetu ambao tunawafunza hapa, tunaona kama watakuwa mwangaza katika hiyo jamii ambayo inaendelea. Hii shule yetu imebadilisha mtazamo wetu juu ya masomo. Ni jambo ambalo tunashirikiana walimu, wazazi pamoja na wanafunzi. Tukiona watoto wakianza kushauriana, wakianza kutoa huduma, tunajua kuna kitu kizuri ambacho kiko kwa watoto.
Working with the teachers has been one of the main contribution towards education in all its forms, in which Baha'is engage in. And there are cadre of teachers, ranging from community school teachers, the Baha'i teachers who have initiated their own Baha'i-inspired schools, the junior secondary school teachers, and also the senior secondary school teachers, together with even the lecturers in different tertiary institutions. With the community school teachers, we have a Mwelekeo organization that is spearheading this, following this effort very closely. And the organization assists in raising the capacities of these teachers through offering training and reflection spaces. And of course, the content of this training majorly is on, we draw them from institute courses, the PSA units, some messages from the Universal House of Justice, and also other relevant materials that are government accredited. These teachers who are serving in the community school, and most of them have been inspired in different ways to be teachers. And some of them have been inspired by just having these children classes, and later on they actually end up becoming teachers. Some of them, after going through the unit, the Nurturing Young Mind to Describe the World, which actually deals with young people, finally they find themselves becoming teachers. And sometimes the passion of these teachers, where they see these students struggling, especially when some of them are working very long to get to school, and they get that passion to begin schools.
Nobility of human being is intimately connected with the power of education. As an elementary teacher, then I've realized that the ill-afflicting education in many institutions in Kenya is how knowledge and education is perceived. One is how discipline is maintained in institutions. Now you realize that discipline is imposed on learners, but then as a Baha'i, I know that discipline is actually a force that is maintained through the inner being. At the institution I teach, most of the time learners were actually being gained as a way of correcting the mistakes that they do. But then through that, you find that it actually used to quench the creativity that lie inherent in the learners. Now, what we do as a Baha'i, now I talk to administration about this, how actually most of the learners are being affected by this corporal punishment, but then at the same time talking to the learners themselves, then how they should behave.
The organization is actually following very closely with the Baha'i teachers, especially those who are teaching in primary and also the high school. And in this case, the idea is to assist them to really apply Baha'i principles in their schools. In that small way, they are able really to infuse these principles of the faith in their working environment. How the teacher views the child as having that gem, and assisted them really to be able to unravel the potentialities that God has bestowed upon them.
Looking at how those spiritual qualities are being integrated, or you are trying to cooperate with them very well in a nice way, creating that environment where they are free, they can ask anything. And then again, trying to think at, sometimes I feel it when our students, they are very free with us.
Apart from this, just focusing on the generality of teachers, there's this specific focus on junior secondary school teachers. To assist these teachers, the idea is to introduce the junior youth program into schools. And to do this, the focus was just on specific schools to begin with, so that it just organically grow as we expand to other schools. And we selected 3 schools. And from there, we have been inviting these teachers, the 8 teachers. And apart from the 8 teachers, we have also been engaging the curriculum support officers, the CSOs, who are actually in charge of their teachers. And with them having this knowledge, believe that it is easier really to assist and support the teachers, and also to encourage them really to be able to implement the program in schools. In community school also, we see this element of service in our teachers, the way the selflessness, the way they sacrifice in assisting these teachers, and the motivation behind actually them becoming teachers.
I am a teacher by profession, and I teach in Bukolwe Primary and JSS School. I want to talk shortly about Junior Youth Empowerment Program. This is a program that empowers our junior youth of ages from 12 years to a maximum of 16 years. Being a mother in a community where children, these junior youth, are getting out of hand, basing on their behavior, their character, due to the change, the entire change in the whole world, I became a concerned mother and teacher and mentor, and opted to introduce this in the school in which I teach. So I went down to my principal, requested for her permission if we can be able to incorporate this or bring it down to the level of our school, so that our learners, being a day school, our learners may benefit from this and may be able also to change so that they can become responsible citizens in future.
There are some of the teachers that are already having a junior youth in their schools. They have a group in their schools. In some of the schools, it's even becoming overwhelming because the whole school want to engage with the program, and with the resources, the human resources that are there currently, you find that they are not enough. So the institute also has connected the school to a pool of animators within the village. Sometimes they also offer support to this program, but to enhance the capacity of these animators, these teachers, regular reflection spaces, a combined physical spaces and online spaces, just to reflect together, to think about different questions that are emerging. It's becoming a space where this capacity is further enhanced, and at the same time where mutual support and shared understanding and shared vision is built.
My principal gave me an okay. She accepted, and she accepted us to introduce it in the grade 8, who are the JSS, and with the time, the program was rolled down to grade 7 and down to grade 6, and now we even extended it to the secondary section, and the principal also accepted it and embraced it positively, and he also gave us the Form 1s and the Form 2s, and currently the program is running in the entire comprehensive school, and I want to attest that this program is yielding good results. The entire community is positive about this program because they are able to measure the goodness of the program out of it.
We have a story whereby Musonda was asking his friend of what career she's mostly interested in. Then they had a discussion with the friend, and then they came up with the careers that they like. That's the most interesting part I like about the breeze of confirmation.
The activities that I engage in is helping the needy, helping others solve problems, and helping one to manage their time.
I'm Morris Boya, a teacher in Bukolwe Comprehensive School, and from the time this program was put in place, we see that learners have been willingly trying to implement what they learned from the program, and as a result, we have seen them engaging in agricultural projects. The way they are working, it shows that the program has had a positive impact on learners, because we are seeing them very much determined and willing to go ahead with the program.
I'm Francis Weme, a teacher at Bukolwe, and I'm the deputy head teacher of the school. The program has been successful because most of the children,
they have changed behavior-wise. If the program continues, the children will do well, especially behavior-wise, because they are guided. They are given books, and those books, they help them even in language, because some of them were saying that this program is good, they need more. Parents, the Bukolo community are happy with the program because of the positiveness that they have seen.
This is a program. Let us not look at the element of religion, but let us look at our children. The children, the community we have in the future, a community that will is already ruptured at this early stage. If we look at the future community being destroyed slowly by slowly, let us embrace this so that we can rebuild this community, these citizens, so that in future we may have a responsible country, a country without rackles everywhere, and we shall live a happy life.
During the first few spaces with the teachers, something that became interesting is that even the schools themselves have been thinking on how to raise the capacity of the junior youth. But from different schools, it was not very clear on how this can be done, because the junior youth program, it's seen in two ways. One is to build their intellectual capacity, and two is to build their spiritual capacity. And from the sharing of some teachers, you find that there are some of the junior youth in schools, they cannot really connect different concepts. Some of them cannot read with good comprehension. Others could not even read at all. But then, as we were sharing and discussing with the teachers, it emerged out that then this could be also a place on how a program that will also enable the junior youth also to advance their intellectual capacity, that they can read with sound comprehension. And of course, from the junior youth program, they are not just reading a story, but then they are reading a story that has a lot of impact on their life. Say, for example, Breathers of Confirmation. The concept of confirmation and the story of Musonda is not just a story that the children will enjoy. They will enjoy, but at the same time, building their own spiritual perception. Really thinking about their spiritual growth, thinking about their spiritual eye, using the spiritual eye, using a spiritual ear, and really thinking about this concept of twofold moral purpose. Like, how can I advance myself, both in the intellectual, material, and spiritual, and at the same time, how can I be of service to the community?
As a Baha'i teacher, I think I'm drawing a number of insights from the Training Institute in my teaching. One thing that is very interesting that the Institute has really assisted me is how I view my learners. I view my learners as human beings that are noble. Then they have some talents and capacities that lie latent to them, that actually, as a teacher, then I have a responsibility to nurture those talents. Another thing that really I've learned as a teacher from the Training Institute and is really assisting me is actually how I discipline my learners. In many of the public schools that I teach, then I will still have this corporal punishment. But then as a Baha'i, I know how the harm that the corporal punishment that usually does to the learners. So instead of applying the corporal punishment, then we have a conversation with the learners. I guide them. They see actually why it is important most of the time to do the right thing.
It begins in small circles where women come together to reflect, to encourage, and to learn. Here, they strengthen education for their children and build bonds of unity.
Kutoka kwa nyumba ya haki ya ulimwengu ni lile ambalo walisema ya kwamba mkienda kukutana 19 day feast, msiwe mkikutana tu mnamaliza na mnatoka. Mchungusane ndani, muone ya kwamba jamii ya Kibahai na ile jamii sio ya Wabahai wako na shida gani, na hiyo shida ikiwa tunaweza kuwasaidia itatua namna gani.
Jamii ambayo iko na upendo haiwezi kufanya jinsi ule mwenzangu amesema anauza ng'ombe peke yake bila kuhusisha watoto na mama. Kwa hivyo mpaka iwe na uelewano kati yao wote.
Kitu ambacho kitatusaidia kutujengea uwezo katika haya makundi ya familia ni taasisi. Katika hizo vikundi za familia tuhakikishe taasisi ni kipaumbele, because itatusaidia kutujengea uwezo wa kuweza kujenga jumuiya ambazo ni bora, ambazo ni hai.
Tukue na consultation, tena tukue na upendo. Tufundishe watoto wetu kuwa na furaha, si wenyewe tukue na uvumilivu. Yaani tukue tu example kwa watoto wetu. Sasa tukiwa hivyo, majirani nao wataanza kusoma kwa sisi. Watakuja watuulize maswali, na hapo hivyo ndio tutaanzia ufundishaji tena.
From these humble spaces, a greater vision unfolds. So important are these conversations that even men step into the kitchen, ensuring the women are free to give their full attention.
Tumeangalia kina mama ndo walezi wa jamii. Kama tutakosa mboga kwa jamii, wale ambao labda ni kipaumbele ama wale wa kuangazia hayo zaidi ni akina mama. So hatuwezi tukikosa mboga katika jamii, ni akina mama ambao wanafanya nini? Wako na ule wajibu wa kuweza kutatua swala kama hili.
Wakati tumekuwa hapa imetufunza jinsi tunaweza kaa kama tu wamama, tuwe wajasiri na tusiogope. Chochote ambacho kinatokea, sisi kama kina mama tukue ready na tuwe jasiri, tusiwe waoga, tuwe watu wa kujenga wengine. Wamama tuwe mfano bora kwa wale marafiki zetu wenye wako nje. Na tumeonyeshwa jinsi tunaweza lea familia zetu. Tusibaguane, tusipague mtu, usipague mwingine. Aswa wewe mama usijaribu kupakua wamama wenzako. Mahali penye unaona makosa, uende usaidie pale mahali, uhakikisha paka amani imepatikana hapo mahali.
Kwa rinobo danzi ibuganiri kuri lya bangwa paga kuruhi kubugani ibuganiri riruhiri fwe na libugana komorome ku bintu binyinge libugana lya kuganjya kurimena lya iyi family kuri bandu bamenyimiza inyumba zyabo hala nabana nokuri ko narakoreta ujiba lya kokora ndi diba lya orande endo ebemo familia ebemo chigiri familia ebemo ne kora bindu byene kana korondekana na mahandiko na soma lyo kwa kusoma mbitabu biborande kubeni familia ebe neriba moyo kubeni family yokuhambanya madara kubeni family kuhambanya abatende betu mbikorwa fulani na bikorwa byenenike nokuzya kubagendela kwakabagendela kubugore bandu benaba kubabiki hala babe badedekere kubakone ne babene nobugeru fulani kandi kubakone kigali budedekere bube hari kanyinge narakuba budedekere biriba moyo bandu nyoroja kyonekaza paka kuzikubakona kobe no bodedekere birigerwa paka kuzikubakona kumasomo kwa kusoma korondekana ku liba libitabu ya kwa nabyo korondekana mahandi kukotora ku nyumba ya haki ya ulimwengu ga kokona bandu banyinge sana kigira korondekana Liba mwoyo liena libe ne chikulia chalyo kandi mbiregu kwoneka gobe ni chikulia chalyo masomo agakukonyi bandu batiriki west nabakere batiriki west gakokona komanyi kobe liba hari kabere keneka kokone liba mwoyo lyo mbere kandi kokone liba mwoyo